Good morning, First Unitarian. It's great to see you all. If you're out there in the community room, come on in and join us. We're getting singing this morning. We get lots of great compliments about the music here at First Unitarian, and this morning, you all are joining me in making our music for every single piece of music we do today. The whole day is congregational singing wall to wall. And so I need your help. Would you please rise in body and or spirit? This first song that we're going to sing is called In the Shelter, and it's just a call and response. I'll sing a line and you sing a line back to me. In the shelter of each other, in the shelter of our lives, we are open, we are dreaming, we are hopeful, we are wise. We'll sing this a couple more times through, but before we do, can you take a breath with me? Sigh it out. Make that voice heard, make that voice big, because as a community, we have a bigger voice than what we have as individuals. 1, 2, in the shelter of each other, in the shelter of our lives, we are open. We are dreaming, we are hopeful, we are wise. Turn to your neighbor, give him a smile, a high five, say welcome here. Sing together, sing to each other. In the shelter of each other, in the shelter of our lives, we are open, we are dreaming, we are hopeful, we are wise. This next one is called There's a Truth. We'll sing it 3 times through. If it's unfamiliar to you, feel free to just listen the first time through, but I invite you to join me as soon as you feel able. There's a truth beyond our knowledge, there's a truth beyond our knowledge. There's compassion beyond our pain. There's a spirit burning brighter. There's a love to guide our way. There's a truth beyond our knowledge. There's compassion beyond our pain. There's a spirit burning brighter. There's a love to guide our way. Nice. We got one more to sing together before we start our service in earnest. This one's a little bit more of a teaching moment because this is a brand new song to our community. This is called A Dedication by this incredible singer-songwriter, Leah Morris. We're going to sing it later in our service, and the choir's going to help me, but for now we're just going to do a little teaching. Just listen once. As for me and my house, you will find us serving truth. Listen again. As for me and my house, you will find us serving truth. Sing with me. As for me and my house, you will find us serving truth. As for me and my house, you will find us serving truth. As for me and my house, you will find us serving truth. Truth for all right now. So you're going to sing that twice through, and then the third time through it'll sound like this. As for me and my house, you will find us serving truth. So the third time through, truth kind of goes up high. As for me and my house, you will find us serving truth. Truth for all right now. Truth for all right now. Ready, go. Truth for all right now. Yeah, let's do the whole thing all the way through. 1, 2, 3. As for me and my house, you will find us serving truth. As for me and my house, you will find us serving truth. As for me and my house, you will find us serving truth. Truth for all right now. That'll come later in the service. Thanks, everybody.
Good morning. My name is Charlotte Broadkern. I hope you're having a wonderful morning so far. I serve on the Board of Trustees here at First Unitarian. Whoever you are, whomever you love, whether you carry joy or sorrow in your heart, you are welcome here. All people of goodwill are warmly invited to join us on the journey of the mind, the heart, and the spirit. If this is your first time with us today, please let the offering basket pass you by. Your presence is gift enough. We hope you will join us for coffee and conversation in the community room after the service. We would love to get to know you and answer any questions you might have. You can also visit the information table that is next to the exit from the community room. Today is our annual business meeting after the service today. Please pick up your voting card and you need to register after this service. We hope to see you all after the service. Today, it is the first Sunday of the month, and so we have an organization that we are going to be giving the money from the basket that we pass. All cash and checks will be donated in full unless designated otherwise. We will learn about this organization chosen for this offering today later in the service. If you're looking for ways to engage with our community and support the work of our congregation, please visit the opportunities table at the back of the community room after the service. There are a variety of activities that would welcome more helping hands, and we would love to match you with an opportunity that interests you. Please remember to silence your cell phone and other electronic devices, and we welcome you to worship today. At this time, you can take a moment and greet the people who are sitting around you.
Whoever you are and wherever you are welcome here. Particularly if this is your first or second time joining us, we're really glad you're here. Please join me in singing our song of welcome. We are many, we are one, the light of the world is within you. Sacred and worthy is your soul, a place has been made for you. You and you and you and you and you. Please rise in body and or spirit and join me, call to worship. Call to worship. Sorry. I'm trying to cut Nathaniel out, sorry.
You can sing in a second, I promise. Good morning, First Unitarian. My name is Nathaniel Clark. I haven't been here for a minute, and I have missed you very much. The words for our call to worship are a poem by the illustrious Audre Lorde. It's called Contact Lenses. Lacking what they want to see makes my eyes hungry, and eyes can only feel pain. Once I lived behind thick walls of glass, and my eyes belonged to a different ethic, timidly rubbing the edges of whatever they turned upon. Seeing usually was a matter of what was in front of my eyes matching what was behind my brain. Now my eyes have become a part of me exposed, quite quick, risky, and open to all the same dangers. I see much better now, and my eyes hurt. Once again, welcome.
Okay, now let's sing. Would you please rise in body and or spirit and join me in singing We Gotta Hold Everybody Up by Melanie DeMore. 1, 2. We gotta hold everybody. We gotta hold everybody up. We gotta hold everybody. We gotta hold everybody up. Hold everybody up, up, up. Hold everybody up, up, up. Hold everybody up, up, up. Hold everybody up. Just because you look like you and I look like me doesn't mean we can't be friends. You're not my enemy. they care, well, things don't seem so bad. We gotta hold everybody. We gotta hold everybody up. We gotta hold everybody. We gotta hold everybody up. Hold everybody up, up, up. Hold everybody up, up, up. Hold everybody up, up, up. Hold everybody up.
Good morning. I'm Carol Ruckel, one of the members of the Giving in Action team here at First Unitarian. This morning we have a group that is new to us, although they are not a new organization by any means, Clear Direction Mentoring. And there is information in First Announce, if you missed it this week, about them. And I would like to introduce Mark, who's going to introduce Susie and Michaela, and they were having a discussion about who's going to speak, so I don't know what's going to happen next. But someone's going to talk to you about the group.
Hello, everybody. So how this is going to go is I'm going to talk a little bit about the organization, and then Michaela and Susie, who are our chapter leaders here in Colorado, are going to talk a little bit more about the actual experiences and some of the things that they've done this year. But before I get started, I want to first express my gratitude to Reverend Morran and the Action and Giving Committee at First Unitarian Society of Denver for welcoming us here today. The mission of First Unitarian Society of Denver deeply resonates with me, and it aligns with the mission of Clear Direction Mentoring. Both of our missions are rooted in justice and inclusivity, and Clear Direction Mentoring exists to address our nation's need to diversify science, engineering, technology, math, and medicine, academic programs, and workforces. Postdoc fellows and postdoc fellows and graduate students from prestigious institutions like the University of Colorado Anschutz Medical Campus and New York University provide long-term mentorship to underrepresented minority students in STEM from their sophomore year in high school until their first ever paid STEM internship, usually after their freshman year of college. Each mentor goes through a 3-part culturally sensitive mentorship training designed to help them understand the challenges that disadvantaged high school students face. They learn to promote inclusivity, reduce bias, and empower high school students to achieve success. There's also a mentorship support committee that helps each mentor and supports them and guides them through this journey as well. Our programs are designed to empower high school students and allow them to overcome barriers and achieve their dreams of a STEM career. Let's see. So while we're helping the high school students, we also help our mentors as well. They get trained, they get experience, and that process helps to create a more inclusive environment too in academia and in industry as they take those skills and they apply them throughout their careers. So it's just some of the outcomes of our program. We have a 100% success rate of matriculation of students that go through the program into 4-year colleges. We have pre and post-test surveys that show that the program increases students' confidence in scientific methods as well as their confidence in their ability to achieve in STEM academic programs. We've had 29 students go through paid internships. We've trained over 150 postdoctoral fellows and graduate students in culturally sensitive mentorship training. And this is the best one. So So of all the students that have gone through the program, 98% of them are still involved in STEM. And that's really our goal, is to keep them in STEM. Yeah, it's pretty amazing. So with that, I will turn it over to Susie and Michaela, who can tell you a little bit more about the program.
Thank you all for having us here this morning and allowing us to fellowship with you. I'll keep it quick so we can keep on moving, but I'm Susie Kafer. I'm the incoming president of the chapter of CDM at CU Anschutz. This past year was my first year as a fellow as a mentor to a fellow, and I had so many wonderful opportunities to help students choose what college am I going to? What does an engineer do? Because honestly, I'm not sure either. I'm a scientist. And connecting them with engineers and scientists in the community to really help them understand, what can I do? What are my next steps? It's been a huge privilege to mentor so many bright young students who have such a passion for STEM. And I'll let Michaela speak to her experiences for a moment, as she is in charge of internships.
Good morning. Yeah, thanks. Like Susie said, I'm the internship director, and I've been the director for 3 years for the Colorado chapter. And one of my favorite things about the internship we do is that it bridges the gap between high school science and college curriculum, because our fellows were struggling with that transition into college curriculum science. So we take our interns after they graduate high school for 1 week of hands-on mentorship experience, where they do labs and they do lectures and they learn about hypothesis testing and basically everything that it means to be a science, so that they're prepared for their college. And one of my favorite things about that program is that the students often come back to me and text me throughout the year, and they're like, I just learned about this thing in my college bio class that you taught us about in the internship, or I just read this really cool paper that I want to share with you because your internship helped me explore different areas of science that I'm interested in. And it's like those foundational moments for those students that are really powerful, that I think really speaks to Clear Direction's mission as a whole, and that we're like uplifting these students and that we're sending them out into the world with the skills and confidence necessary to succeed. Thank you.
Thank you.
Like I said, I need your help with everything this morning. Choir, come on up. Choir's gonna come up and help out. And like I said, you're involved in all this, you're singing with us. The cool thing about this sort of day is that the choir can come on up and they sing in harmony, they sing some fun stuff, but now you can sing along with them in harmony. I invite you to rise in body and spirit, and I invite you to sing with me. This is I'm Gonna Lift My Sister Up. And if when you hear the choir sing in harmony, if you feel moved to sing some harmony, I would encourage you to do so. I'm gonna lift my sister up, she is not heavy. I'm gonna lift my sister up, she is not heavy. I'm gonna lift my sister up, she is not heavy. If I don't lift her up, I will fall down. Sister up, join me. I'm gonna lift my sister up, she is not heavy. I'm gonna lift my sister up, she is not heavy. I'm gonna lift my sister up, she is not heavy. If I don't lift her up, I will fall down. My brother up. I'm gonna lift my brother up. He is not heavy. I'm gonna lift my brother up. He is not heavy. I'm gonna lift my brother up. He is not heavy. If I don't lift him up, I will fall down.
your gifts freely given this morning are gratefully received. Thank you for your support, your generosity, your gifts to the Clear Direction Mentoring Program. Thank you. Couple of concerns of our larger community I want to hold up this morning. I want to let you know Don Martell is back in the hospital this week. It's unclear when or if he will be better. Please keep him in your thoughts and prayers. He is not up for visits, but I have it on good authority that Mary appreciates being invited out to lunch or coffee. I want to just acknowledge this morning that a former president has been found guilty of felony charges in a court of law. And while some of us find that a reason to celebrate, it does appear that it has only further divided our very divided country. And so I want to pray, and I do pray, that democracy will survive and that animosity will somehow ease into something that looks more like a peaceful agreement to disagree. And I hope we will model that, and I hope we'll be part of that. And lastly, for this morning, I will just keep saying this. Dear Hamas, if the goal is peace and prosperity for the people you claim to represent and care about, stop hiding behind them and using them for human shields. And murder and rockets and hostages cannot get you anywhere worth going. Face reality, stop the rockets, stop the killing, release the hostages. And, dear Israel, if the goal is peace and mutual prosperity, then bombing cities and killing civilians and displacing millions of people and turning families into hungry, desperate refugees does not, will not, and cannot get you there. Cease fire. Stop the killing. Stop the raids. Stop. Amen. And dear world, be sane. For God's sakes, be compassionate, have mercy. Everything we value is at stake. So my prayer today, I'll tell you right up front, is not really a prayer. It was written by Sharad Yadav, who serves a Christian church in Portland, Oregon, and I have edited his words only to replace some of the expletives. All of the expletives. He wrote, very slightly edited by me, as I try to remember why I do this for a living. He does work at a church, right? He said, here is a handful of reasons, dear friends, to consider joining a church. 1, to join a church is to commit to a social circle you do not get to choose and who can therefore tell you and show you whether your spirituality is BS or not. 2, joining a church is a way of practicing among a small group of people over a significant period of time what you would like the world to look like. 3, to join a church is to live in rebellion against the neoliberal and capitalist forces which are brainwashing you into making your consumer desire the center of the world, reducing all your experiences of the world, including the people in it, into mere instruments and resources. 4, joining a church is to organize your life around a time to confess your limitations, your culpability, and your imperfections, together with other people, so that you can get used to receiving divine forgiveness and hope. 5, to join a church is to resist all traditional loyalties to state, party, culture, family, or affinity in an act of loyalty to a group that transcends all natural categories. And 6, joining a church organizes your financial priorities around supporting an inclusive community for vulnerable people whom you then actually have to live with. 7, to join a church is to cultivate an environment unlike your home or work or play, where your life is not measured according to any other purpose or goal than to discover and enjoy your own humanity. 8, joining a church is a way of maintaining healthy skepticism about human knowledge and the capacities in the language of divine mystery. And 9, joining a church is a life lesson in how to deal with jerks without retaliating, dehumanizing, or running away, perhaps in the desperate hope of not also becoming a jerk. And 10, and last, to join a church is to cultivate an imagination of how your unique talents and creative potential can be offered on purpose for love instead of money. Amen.
Now, we're coming back to the one that we learned earlier today. This is a dedication by Leah Morris. You're welcome to stay seated if you like. You're welcome to dance if you like. You're welcome to stand if you like. You're welcome to jam, but I hope you join me in singing. As for me and my house, you will find us serving truth. As for me and my house, you will find us serving truth. As for me and my house, you will find us serving truth. Truth for all right now. Truth again. As for me and my house, you will find us serving truth. As for me and my house, you will find us serving truth. As for me and my house, you will find us serving truth. Truth for all right now. Joy. As for me and my house, you will find us serving joy. As for me and my house, you will find us serving joy. As for me and my house, you will find us serving joy. Joy for all right now. As for me and my hope, you will find us serving hope. As for me and my house, you will find us serving hope. As for me and my house, you will find us serving hope. Hope for all right now. Love. As for me and my house, you will find us serving love. As for me and my house, you will find us serving love. As for me and my house, you will find us serving love. Love for all right now. Love for all right now. Love for all right now. One more time. Love for all right now.
So, curiously, how many of us at one time or another have had the experience of being excluded. Looks pretty unanimous to me. We could use other words: ignored, rejected, discounted, unheard, left out. That's a yucky feeling. Amen? Amen. In my experience, not only does it feel bad and yucky, it kind of messes with your head. At least a little bit. Like what's wrong with me? Some of us, when we were children, had horrible experiences of being excluded or bullied or otherwise socially rejected, and some of those experiences literally have shaped our entire lives. I know this is true. Our very sense of ourself as a human being shaped our core beliefs about what was possible for us or not possible for us. Some of those experiences were instigated or condoned by adults who should have known better. Any group can exclude. Schools, neighborhood cliques, workplaces, congregations, cliques within congregations, political parties, even our own families, as some of us know all too well. True story, and not a particularly traumatic one, but it was highly educational for me. Years ago, my wife Tammy and I bought our first house together in a suburban neighborhood in Colorado Springs. And at that time, we had a 2-year-old and another one on the way. And we were so excited when we learned there were 2 families within a stone's throw of us that also had toddler boys. And when we met them, they were friendly enough. And I remember an early conversation where a group of neighbors were standing on a driveway talking about how close everyone in the neighborhood was. One of the men said that he hadn't lived in a neighborhood like this one since he'd been a kid. But it did not take long to learn that we were not really welcome in this little circle of families, about 4 families or so that kind of made up the clique on our street. They would gather on sidewalks and driveways almost daily in the summertime in late afternoons and visit each other while the kids played. And at first we would go outside to join them. And while no one was openly rude, it was also really clear they were on the inside and we were on the outside. They would plan with each other to take kids to baseball games or water parks or on walks or such, and they would not invite us, even when we're standing right there. One afternoon that summer, we looked out our front window to see practically the whole block was having what was clearly an organized cookout on our neighbor's driveway, almost directly across the street, and no one had told us about it. And when we went outside, no one waved to us or called us over. We were standing there with our children, about 50 feet away. Another time, Tammy was at a birthday party for one of the children, and 5 of these women planned a shopping outing right in front of her without inviting her or even making eye contact. So at some point it dawned on me that it was probably the fact that this was Colorado Springs and I had a bunch of leftist bumper stickers on my truck at the time. Not that anyone ever said anything political within my hearing. And over time, things did improve a little. I made a point to show up when there was work to be done. Like when my neighbor's basement flooded and he was out in the pouring rain trying to dig a ditch to channel the water away from his window well, I went out and we got very wet and very muddy together. Or when another neighbor was building a wooden swing set, clearly did not know what the heck he was doing, I was happy to bring over some power tools and help out. Now and then I'd shovel somebody else's driveway, fix a lawnmower, a sprinkler system, or a carburetor. I always returned everything I borrowed, cleaned, oiled, and in better condition than I received it. Eventually, we did have decent relationships decent with each individual family, but never with the group as a whole. And one time when I was out of town and Tammy got very sick, like the worst excluder of the group, drove her to the hospital and stayed with her for hours while another one of the moms stayed with our sleeping children. By the time we moved away almost 3 years later, they had at least gotten circumspect about excluding us. Now, one of the reasons that I tell that story is because it solidified in my mind that even though it's hardly ever acknowledged out loud, among other things, community is very much about power. Very much about power. That clique of families in my old neighborhood had the power to include or to exclude. And they used that power. They had that power and they used it. We did not have that power, and we felt it. Another reason I tell that story is to just, as a clear example, that we as a community, you and I, First Unitarian Denver, we have that power too. We have it. I promise you, every single person who signs our membership book and almost every visitor or guest that comes through our doors is hoping for a sense of belonging, wondering if this is a place where they will be included, where they can know and be known, a place where they will not be an outsider. And every time they don't feel that possibility, it hurts. I promise you. We will become a more diverse church, a better church, a more connected community to the exact extent that we use our power to include, to welcome, to open ourselves to the stories and the lives of each and all who come to this building. Amen? In her book, The Cloister Walk, Kathleen Norris worries that the church has forgotten that worship is not primarily a gathering of the like-minded, but a gathering of people in the acknowledgement that human existence originates in and is drawn towards love. She continues, even when I find church boring, I try to hold this in mind as a possibility. Like all the other fools who have dragged themselves to church on Sunday morning, including the pastor, I am there because I needed to be reminded that love can be the center of all things if we will only keep it there. I appreciate West African writer and teacher Malidoma Somé, who wrote, "We have an instinct of community." An instinct of community, and I invite you to ponder that phrase, an instinct of community. Our need to belong is as strong as our need for food and water, even if infinitely more complex. Millions of years of evolution have wired every one of us to be in community and be in relationship. There is no such thing as an isolated human being. And that's a bit of a rub, right? Because community can be hard. I often think about the story, and I've shared this before, that Bishop Robert O'Neill once told while he was receiving an award at a dinner that I attended. He told when he was a young man, still in seminary, being just enchanted with the idea of community. Specifically for him, Christian community was the answer that the world needed, and he would dedicate his whole ministry to creating and empowering community. He wrote his thesis about community. Toward the end of his studies, he had an opportunity to spend a week on retreat at a monastery, and the first night he was there, he was talking to one of the older monks, and he was gushing about community and his plans for community and how that was going to be the answer, and how the monks must have it so good. Yeah, you guys work together, and you eat together, and you pray together, and you serve together. It must be just amazing. And the old monk listened mostly patiently and finally said, yeah. Community. Let me tell you about community. It's excruciating. Because, people. People have quirks and strange habits and annoying little behaviors and strange ideas about things. They have bad moods and self-doubts and stresses we don't know anything about. The fact is that if you are in human community, and this is me talking, this is not the old monk, right? If you are in any human community for any significant length of time, you are going to get annoyed. You are going to get your feelings hurt. There will be times you will not get your way. You are going to be pushed into relational and emotional places you do not want to go. That's the way it works. Bishop O'Neill was warning us against over-glamorizing community, because real community in the modern world is not so easy. Maybe it never was. But it's true that all of us grew up in a culture that hardly taught us anything about how to live in community. All of our stories and mythologies, our rituals and celebrations, virtually all of them hold up individuals or individualism or individual achievement. I challenge you to find a meaningful exception. The valuing of individualism over and above community, it's like it is built into our most basic institutions. The economic system, checks and balances of democracy, the way our legal system treats private property. And I mean, if you just consider that one all by itself, that the very earth on which every one of us depends for our very lives, the very earth itself and all of its resources, this one essential universal reality that every single living thing has in common, is chopped up into little pieces that are owned by individuals or by individual units of the larger community. And I assure you, the more you think about the implications and the meaning of that, the more you will appreciate just how deep and how pervasive and how artificial are these assumptions and values about individualism. Even in our spiritual tradition, Unitarian Universalism, the first principle of the Unitarian Universalist covenant is affirming the inherent worth and dignity of every person. In the Christian tradition, people gather in churches, but God's relationship to human beings is taught to be personal rather than communal. Even heavenly salvation is something that happens to individuals. Now, I don't want to beat this to death. Maybe I have already. But these cultural religious assumptions are so powerful, so internalized, that frankly it's almost impossible to see other ways of being. It's really hard. And all of that kind of brings me to what I think is just one of those magnificent, beautiful, confounding paradoxes of being alive. We are wired with an instinct of community. And we are wired for individuation. Nature models this paradox at every level. Even herds of buffalo and flocks of birds, schools of fish and swarms of bees are not composed of identical units. Groups and cooperation are necessary for survival, and groups function because they're made of individuals with individual qualities. Even in an ant colony, there are fearful creatures and brave creatures, problem solvers, leaders, followers, and so on. Some are stronger, some are weaker, some are faster, some are slower, on and on. Diversity is what makes it work. Studying human societies, the philosopher Karl Popper came up with what he called the paradox of tolerance. You may have heard of this. The paradox of tolerance says, essentially, that any society or community or group that is unable or unwilling to put limits on what they will tolerate will eventually be taken over by the intolerant. Do we see this happening? In other words, the only way that a tolerant society, community, or group stays tolerant is being intolerant of intolerance. Which sounds simple enough, but in practice is actually very, very messy. Just one obvious example. Like we all are aware, there are people in our world right now, people and organizations spewing truly hateful, racist, victim-blaming rhetoric. And we have many people in the middle or moderate left utterly unsure how to respond. Falling for the argument that we have to make room for all these different opinions. One of the loud claims on the far right in America is that we people on the so-called tolerant left are actually intolerant hypocrites for protesting hate speech, or calling out the president when he lies, or when college campuses refuse to let white nationalist, white supremacist fascists speak on their property, for declining to watch entertainment that features people who have done or said hateful things. They call it cancel culture, but don't let them fool you with this nonsense about hypocrisy. It's nonsense. It is perfectly okay to defend tolerance by not tolerating intolerance. That's the only way tolerance survives. I'll take all the help I can get. Come on. Religion has some wisdom for us here. And I'm going to close with a parable from the Gospel of John. In chapter 8, the Pharisees are trying to show that Jesus is a fraud. And they bring to him a woman who has been caught as an adulterer, and they ask him what should be done. The trap that they're laying is that if he says they should let her go, they will be able to accuse him of going against Jewish law. But if he should say she should be stoned, as the law commands, then they will have shown that Jesus has no compassion and offers nothing new. But the answer Jesus gives turns the whole thing around. He says, fine, follow the law. Let the one of you who is without sin be the first one to cast a stone. And of course, there are none without sin, and the crowd disperses. And the traditional teaching here, right, is don't judge, lest you be judged. But I think that's just the beginning and a rather trivial treatment of a profound story. This is a case of a divided community. This woman has been excluded. She's been rejected. She's been judged unworthy. This is a metaphor for how communities often define themselves by pointing to who they're not, by pointing to those they consider less than, for those who are outside. They don't get it. We didn't vote for that guy. We have to be this because those people are that, or something along those lines. But in this story, Jesus doesn't just challenge Jewish law. He lays bare the whole assumption that anyone could be inside or outside. We're all outside, and we're all inside. We're all in this together, and following any stupid law based on violence and exclusion will never heal anyone or anything. There is no us and them. We're all guilty of participation in the violence of the modern world. Every one of us. We have all benefited from conquest and colonialism. We have all remained silent about injustice. I'm not saying we're bad. I'm saying we can choose a different way. Amen? With our eyes open to the deeper truth of things, with our arms open and willing to reach out, with our minds open, willing to admit we are not perfect, with our hearts wide open to the love that surrounds us, that is ours to both give and to receive. Let's be that church where we practice together over a period of time what we would like the world to look like. Amen.
As the choir gathers, this is a song that we've sung in service before, but I don't know that we've ever done it fully as a congregational song. It's called Where You Go, I Will Go by Shoshana Jidwab. Similarly to all of our music today, I need your help, and I encourage you to harmonize however you want to harmonize, or just sit on the melody. Join me in singing. Where you go, I will go, beloved. Where you go, I will go. Where you go, I will go, beloved. Where you go, I will go. Where you lie, I will lie, beloved. Where you lie, I will lie. Where you lie, I will lie, beloved. Where you lie, I will lie. For your people are my people. Your people are mine. Your people are my people. You're divine, my divine. For your people are my people. Your people are mine. Your people are my people. You're divine, my divine. Where you go, I will go, refugee. Where you go, I will go. Where you go, I will go, refugee. Where you go, I will go. Where you lie, I will lie, refugee. Where you lie, I will lie. Where you lie, I will lie, join me in singing our closing affirmation. Oh, and please rise in body and or spirit. Join me in singing our closing affirmation.
Friends, before I give the benediction, just a reminder, our congregational meeting is going to start here in about 15 minutes. Please grab a cup of coffee, get your voter cards, and come on back. Scan the QR code out there for the agenda and all the decision items, because the copier broke yesterday. Friends, be noble. For you are born of the stars. Be humble, for you are made of the earth. And be kind, for you belong to each other. Amen. Our service is ended.